All right, as always, it's an FTP Friday, and this one's extra special with playing the Green Bay Packers. I do not own the rights to this music.
Here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Jeremy Smokin.
All right, and it is Kneecap Biting with Smokin Jeremy B. My guests tonight are Dan Leonard, Big Dan Davis, and Christopher Smith, who's coming to watch Green Bay versus Detroit all the way from Packerland. Hallelujah. That's loyalty for you.
Yes, sir.
So, how's everybody's week been, gentlemen?
All right, not too bad.
Yeah, mine was good. I had a birthday on Wednesday, the 2nd. So
happy birthday, Chris.
All right, thank you. Appreciate you.
That being said, TJ Hockenson is gone. Brock Wright, who cleared concussion protocol, is our tight end one. How do you think him, Zylstra, and James Mitchell will fare in this contest?
Well, I think Brock Wright will be in there mainly as our blocking tight end and to help out in the run game, catching an occasional pass or two. And I think James Mitchell and the rest of them will be the ones that they go to in the passing game.
Leonard?
I like Brock Wright personally. I'm willing to bet he actually does get into the passing game a decent amount.
Chris?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Dan Skinner. I mean,
Leonard?
I think that yeah, Leonard. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mess up your name. My bad.
It's all good, man. Nobody said like 100 years.
But I agree with him because I mean, it's still gonna leave open like an extra area that needs to be covered. So I think that he'll be well-rounded, and they might switch him out occasionally, like rotate him. So I think all of them might be trying to be versatile and fulfill that purpose, because that's why I think he picked a lot of guys to be like multi-positional.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think Brock Wright might actually have a little bit of a breakout game because they won't be trying to focus on TJ Hockenson as much. He actually had a great game once Hockenson got hurt at the end of the first quarter of the Washington game, because Hockenson was non-existent to almost invisible, and Brock Wright caught one of the touchdown passes.
Yes, sir.
Oh, gosh. Got to remember what I said for the second one. Good thing I write all this stuff down, huh?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Right up here. Penei Sewell has missed practice, but it was to bring his newborn child into the den. Congratulations, big guy. What do you guys think about Penei Sewell being a new daddy?
I think that's freaking awesome. Congratulations goes out to him and his wife/girlfriend there.
Well, the club, and in like 5 years, I told you so.
You know what I think? Daniel Williams, he has Smokin Jeremy. What you smoking? Cheeseheads this weekend, hopefully.
JB, I'll be back.
I agree.
Phone call real quick.
Okay.
Yep. Bye.
Chris, what do you think
Yep.
about Penei Sewell being a new daddy?
Well, I say he has a long 18-year journey ahead of him.
Yes, sir.
That is
Yes.
true.
It's a long and very fortuitous journey if you make the memories with your children.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Next up, we have Kieran Rodgers and his land of misfit wide receivers are coming to Detroit. Anyone scared of this much maligned offense?
I'm not scared of their wide receiver core because their wide receiver core has been at best average. The run game is still pretty good though, so that'd be the part of it that worries me the most. So that'll be tough for us, I think.
Chris?
I'm agreeing with Big Dan. I'm not worried about nothing else Green Bay have except for their running backs. Other than that, nah, we good.
Fair enough, because they do have one of the best running back tandems in the league, hands down, talent-wise. The problem is they've been doing a lot like Detroit. They use them in the first half and go away from them most of the time in the second half, except in the Bills game, because they thought they were going to come back.
They actually were semi-decently almost successful in the run game against Buffalo for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Canty and Carla was talking about it at ESPN Radio, and they actually picked us to win.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
They said Green Bay's defense was supposed to be top 5, and they're hovering down there in the bottom 7 with Detroit in every statistic.
Jeez.
And they get less pressures and less sacks. And we complain about the sacks, and we got a guy who's leading all rookies right now with 5.
Well, I think that we got a higher probability. Yeah.
We just we gotta, for once in this game against the Packers, play a full 4 quarters of football, play good on both sides of the ball, put it together, and we might have a chance if they can do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And if Aaron Glenn figures out something that works defensively, god dang it, stick to it.
Right. You took the words out of my mouth.
I mean, like I said last week in the post-game show, we had 72 yards in the first quarter and only got 10 more in the second half, or in the first half, and only got 10 more in the second half. We can't change our play calling if it's working. There's no adjustment needed if it's working.
Exactly.
And that's the one thing that drives me nuts about Aaron Glenn. He'll find something that works, like when he first started standing up Hutch, and then he just gets away from it.
Yep. I guess if they figure, like, if you had some games where they was like up 28-0, they feel that they can coast. No, you can't.
What's funny is penalties have killed us to an extent, but we're still penalized less than we have been in the past.
Yeah, and lucky for Detroit, Clete Blakeman, Aaron's buddy, ain't reffing this game.
Woo-hoo!
Or his cousin.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So it ain't gonna be cheap. It's gonna be a fair game.
Yes, sir.
Now the last one, I hope that we beat them in all fairness. I hope that we beat them with our Sunday nun robes on.
Well, I'm going to go right to my article because now we're going to get to the fun part, which is keys of the game. Because I wrote an article, it hasn't been posted yet, but we can talk about it right now.
Okay.
I said the Green Bay Packers at 3-5 has had their struggles with Lazard, Watkins, Cobb, Dobbs, and Watson as their receivers between drops and injuries have struggled to get on the same page with Aaron Rodgers. Maybe missing the preseason and offseason for Rodgers has a lot to do with it. Their defense was ranked as a preseason top 5, but hasn't played like it. Some experts say it has to be the get-right game for the Packers. The Lions are 1-6 while having a league-leading home scoring average of 35.5 points per game, are the worst defense in the league this year, visually and statistically. Who knows? Maybe our cardiac cats can beat these guys because they do not scare me on either side of the ball. Get momentum, then go backwards. It's 1st and 30. Absolutely. Those 3 holding calls right in a row. 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards. The Packers have on their team the best tandems of running backs between Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, but really haven't allowed them to play a full game often, much like our Detroit Lions. Keys to the game: use the run effectively for an entire game, setting up play-action passes. On defense, contain their running games and force Rodgers to try and beat you through the air, because the only wide receiver that's had any consistency has been Romeo Dobbs. The rest of them has been trash. Does anybody disagree with what I said there?
Nope.
And I said if they can do the above, Green Bay 17, Detroit 31. If it fails, Green Bay 25, Detroit 13. Does anybody disagree with either one of those predictions?
No. Because if their defense rebounds, they're a very good defense. It's probably the strength of their team. So if their defense rebounds even a little bit, they'll be able to, minimize what our offense can do.
Well, let's go look and see who's out for the Packers.
All right.
I mean, not only that, at the same time, the only high caliber team that they played that was up there of our caliber on offense is Buffalo. So when we get there, we're going to give them a smack in the face.
Yeah.
So if we can, like I say, smack them in the face, it's our defense is what's got to pull it out.
David Bakhtiari, Devondre Campbell, Shamir Jean-Charles, Elton Jenkins. The top 3 are out. Elton Jenkins, the guard tackle, is questionable. Lazard is questionable. Mercedes Lewis, did not play all week with not a listed injury. Vet rest is what it says.
You said Bakhtiari and Campbell are out?
Yep.
Okay.
And it looks like Christian Watson is back from his concussion.
He ain't been shit this year anyways.
I know. But Mercedes it said vet rest and no injury listed, but did not participate all week. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, I hope Hutch the homie missile get one for my birthday.
The guy who I saw that I'm excited that's not out right now is Deshaun Elliott.
Yeah.
We need him back.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Josh Reynolds being doubtful bothers me.
Yep. Because he was kind of like the lead.
If he is out, who steps in for him?
Well, we're going to see Tom Kennedy again, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Tom Kennedy, decent.
But he's a short route to gadget guy because he has almost no speed whatsoever. That's what I see. I'm just calling it like I see it.
True.
But I would love to see him do another flea flicker pass to someone, because he did a great one against Green Bay last year.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
You know what? I think we got another quarterback on the team that nobody's talking about. He was a starter at both quarterback and safety
In college?
In high school.
Oh, okay.
Malcolm Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, he threw for over 6,200 yards and rushed for almost 2,500 yards with 115 total touchdowns in 3 years.
Nice.
So why is he playing defense?
Because that's what he likes to do, is hit people. Can't you tell?
True. But again, in Detroit's, I say, hey. But in our favor, why is he playing defense? He should be on the other side.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he should be taking some snaps there, at least in practice, and see if he still got it.
Exactly, and we can throw him in a wildcat.
Because I don't want to see any of our current backups take the field this year. I hope we don't see it.
Well, Boyle's on the practice squad, so the only thing he'll ever do is hold a clipboard unless Goff goes down.
Yeah.
I thought it was Suffield.
We have Sutfield on the active roster as the backup. Tim Boyle was signed back to the practice squad, and no one picked him up.
Right.
But it kind of bothers me because TJ Hockenson and David Blau is now a Viking.
Yep.
And Blau, he didn't get the full playbook, but TJ Hockenson has it. I know he had to turn it in, but he knows that playbook.
He most certainly does.
It is Packers by 3 right now, if I remember right. Let me go look. Yep. Packers are giving 3.5. The money line is a plus 145 to bet on the Lions. So it's like if you make a $50 bet, you'll get your 50 back. Plus, let's see, that's almost 150%, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think so, yeah.
Because 100 is 100% of the money line, right? You get less than $50 if you bet on the Packers back, so you'd get like 75 is what it's looking like. But with the Lions, you'd get back 125, it looks like.
Not bad.
Awesome.
Who's out for the Lions? Well, let me bring it up again.
So you say Josh was questionable, right?
Josh Reynolds.
Josh Reynolds is doubtful.
Oh, crap.
AJ Parker's out. Chase Lucas is out. Ifeatu Melifamu's out, and Matt Nelson's out.
Then we had a few others that were questionable, I think. But
right, and everybody else has no designation, which means is either vet rest or whatever else. And that in that list of vet rest stuff was Derek Barnes, Deshaun Elliott, Mike Hughes, Penei Sewell, and Frank Ragnow. But we know that Penei Sewell witnessed the birth of his kid. That's why he hasn't been there. So I forgive that 100%.
I do too.
That's no different than when Decker missed because his child was born. He came back and he had a good game.
Yep. I could agree.
So, what is your score prediction there, Chris?
Well, like I was saying before, but I kind of agree with you more. But I think it's going to be one of those games like 24-21.
Big
And
Dan?
the reason why,
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Reason why?
and the reason why that I say that is because I just don't call me a Debbie Downer. I still drink the Kool-Aid, but I just think Mr. Aaron Glenn ain't really got a whole lot of defense like he say that he does with the Aubrey Pleasant situation. So
Well,
I
here's
was
the
just hoping
thing.
that we could hold him down.
This is why I agree with the Aubrey Pleasant firing, is because he was the passing game coordinator for defense. And we have been historically bad defending the pass.
True.
So you have to start somewhere, and you don't start with the DC.
You're right.
Yeah, Glenn will probably be canned by the end of the year, unless there was a drastic turnaround with this team. But I don't
The
know.
only way there's a drastic turnaround is if they get that scheme. And, like I said, last year it took us 13 weeks to learn that new scheme. And then you keep 70% of that roster and you change the scheme again. That's what didn't make sense to me.
I was gonna do the reverse juju thing and pick against us this week just because I don't fully trust our defense yet. But on our college show last night, Dom said something that kind of made sense, and that was just, I think we're due. Like, we're due to win another one sooner or later. So I think we're gonna somehow find a way to win 27-24.
I think this is the get right game for the defense. Aaron Glenn's going to pull his head out of his butt.
You
I
better.
hope so.
The Packers have not scored more than 27 points all year.
Nope.
There's a reason why I said if the Lions win, it'll be 31-17. If they lose, it'll be 25-13. There's a reason why I did those two scores. Number one, we got a kicker who hasn't missed a field goal yet.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, we're starting to score touchdowns again. Hallelujah. DeAndre Swift is back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest thing. DeAndre Swift didn't play the whole second half, and what did our offense do? Stall.
Yep.
I wonder if DeAndre Swift will be a little bit right or a little bit better this week. That Miami game, he still didn't look 100% healthy.
Right, which is why they held him out the second half, and they already said he's going to be getting more snaps. He looks better this week. So that being said, I'm all in.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
But you want to know what I think that they should do with DeAndre Swift? At the most critical time to put points on the board, put him in the first quarter. Let him rest up in the second quarter. Put him out in the third to put a fire. Then take him out in the fourth. Game's done. He still get his rest.
Joseph Hose, they've been averaging giving up 27 points a game. And we averaged 35.5 points at home. We've had one snoozer at 27 points this year, and that was versus Miami.
Yep.
I don't think they're going to give up 400-plus yards.
Nope. Not at all.
Not without putting up 400 yards. Canty and Carlin on ESPN, he goes, Aaron Rodgers is not that guy that makes wide receivers better. It's been proven. It's been 8 straight weeks that he can't make guys better.
Thanks for clearing that, JB. I wish I had like a megaphone so you could say it outside to these Packer fans because that's their go-to. Well, Aaron Rodgers makes his receivers better.
I hope we can get decent pressure on Aaron Rodgers to the point where we could get a few hits on him and make him all pissed off and whiny again, like he was against Buffalo.
And I hope Hush the homie Mr. Do It come right in, smack, and another one.
I'll let Rodrigo get in there and get a lick on him or two.
Oh yeah, that'd be the second one. Then he'll be out for the count. Like screw this. He gonna sit on the sideline talk about
Right.
don't put love in.
I loved when his receivers were dropping passes against Buffalo and he's sitting there bitching and whining and just crying like he normally does when something doesn't go his way.
I didn't even see that game, but I can imagine it because he did it in too many games when it's not going his way.
Right? He goes to throw one to Christian Watson and he drops one again and he just gets scolded out by Rodgers and then Rodgers is pouty on the sidelines.
Over under on how many surface tablets Tom Brady breaks versus the Rams? It's at 2. Over or under?
Over.
I still got the Bucks winning, but I think he's going to get pissed off a couple times.
I wonder if he'll belittle his teammates again when they're starting to get smoked.
I don't think they're going to get smoked this game.
True. I actually want Tampa to win, too, so it makes that pick we got from the Rams look even better.
Because right now, isn't it 14th pick?
Yep.
So
1
if
and
they
14.
lose again, it could move up into the top 10.
Yes, it could.
Oof.
So wait a minute. So if that means if Minnesota even make it to the playoffs or even go,
No, they have. It says it doesn't matter who plays as long as Minnesota wins a playoff game. That conditional 4th round pick in 2024 becomes a 5th round pick.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
They haven't shown it. Jair Alexander is good, but he hasn't done much this year versus anybody.
I
Their
heard
safeties are not doing well.
I heard in that Buffalo game that Green Bay has been using Jair Alexander a lot in the slot and not as much outside.
Right. It's
That
weird
could
because Jair Alexander was the 3rd rated corner overall last year, and right now he's sitting around 62.
Yeah.
He's sitting way below Okudah. Okudah's up in the top 15.
Who's the other Green Bay corners? What, Rasul Douglas, or is he a safety? I forget. But
I can't remember. I'd have to look at their roster. I tried not to pay attention to it other than wide receivers.
I think he might have been a safety. I'm not for sure, but
Bakhtiari and Devondre Campbell being out is huge because without Devondre Campbell, that defense does not do well. He is the field general of that defense.
Yeah. Devondre Campbell is one of the guys I was hoping we could try to get in free agency, but
last year. Yeah,
that's right.
Everybody's like, no, he's too old. Man, he does good.
He's a good linebacker, and it shows when he plays for the Packers.
Mm-hmm. Well,
What's your final thoughts there, Chris?
Well, my final thoughts are I think we got a W.
Dan?
And it's more of
I'm just looking.
Wait, let him finish. I didn't realize he was still going.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I was saying I think it's a W, but it's kind of leaning more towards I know it's a W. I mean, putting the numbers together, yeah, that's a very winnable game.
Yeah, I'm looking for our defense to play more consistent. I'm looking to see if they continue to move Hutch around and stand him up, or if they just keep him with his hand in his dirt, or in the dirt. I think we're going to win by a field goal, one way or another.
I'm going to look up something because I know that the Packers' best game was versus the Bucks.
Yeah.
Right?
Tom
Yeah.
Brady, yep. Always.
Let's see what that was. I want to look at it. And that game was 14-12. Total yards in the game. Now get this. 248 passing, 67 yards rushing for 315. Tom Brady had 3 more passing yards, but they had 33 less rushing yards. That was their best game, and their highest total yards in a game was 315. I don't think we give up 400 yards to them.
No, we don't.
We won't.
Because they don't have the personnel to pull it off.
Exactly.
And Bucks have a good defense. They had half their defense out that game, and they could only put up what they did. That's my point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got to do a couple things before I sign off, of course. I got to give the shout-outs to my sponsors. A1 Tire and Auto Repair, 3 locations to serve you. That's in Cuckollin on Old Cuckollin. It's also in Bay City on Broadway and in Saginaw on Genesee. Stop on in. We have great tires, great used tires at a great price, and great prices on new tires too, and excellent service. And Mad Lab Custom Creations for all of your sports memorabilia needs. Look them up on Facebook. They can hook you up in a break to get your personal collection started, or you could buy stuff directly. Yep. Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio said some people are saying this is Aaron Rodgers' get right game. They think it's Aaron Glenn's get the defense right game because they've been playing that bad.
Yeah.
And if Elton Jenkins and Bakhtiari is out, I hope Comiskey plays a lot. Because you know what that means.
Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna be creating some pressure, interior pressure, or from the outside, because I know he plays inside and out.
Yep. And of course, my final thought is, go Lions, one pride, and just remember, try every day to be a better person than you were the day before, because that's the only way to make the world a better place. This has been Kneecap Biting with Smokin Jeremy B. I want to say thank you to Dan Leonard, who had to leave. Thank you, Chris Smith, and thank you, Big Dan. Go Lions, one pride.
Fuck the Packers.